A game that I'm not going to spend super, super long on is Man City 4, Bournemouth 0. And that was my exact prediction. Exact prediction, 4-0. And we've beaten Bournemouth 4-0 on a few occasions. This is the 11th meeting between Bournemouth and Man City in the Premier League era. And Man City have won every single game. Every game. Comfortably most of the times. And it was a formality, man. It's just that I'm surprised that we didn't score more. That's my only problem, is that we didn't score about 8. Seriously, I know I sound like, I sound kind of spoiled right now. Yeah, Dom, you could say that easily. Look at your team, but we should have scored 8. We really should have scored 8. So the goals: Ilkay Gundogan 19th minute, Kevin De Bruyne 31st, Phil Foden 37th, and Jefferson Lerma own goal in the 79th. Give City a 4-0 lead to win their second game this season after the 2-0 drubbing of West Ham United. So now 6 goals scored, none conceded. That's 2 clean sheets for Ederson. He hardly had anything to do in this game. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just run through the lineups here. And for Man City, I think only one change: Grealish out and Riyad Mahrez in. I like that change. I really like that change. Even though Grealish played well in the West Ham game, rotation is very, very important. And as you guys could see here, what Pep did that I like is he took Phil Foden off, who started the first game, and he brought Grealish on at halftime. So Foden's a happy man. Foden's happy. He scored, right? Foden scored. He's happy. Grealish is happy. He came on for, the second half. He played the first game. And Mahrez is happy. He played the entire game. A player that might not be so happy, that's been, in the rumors of leaving to Barcelona, is Bernardo Silva. To be honest, I hope he doesn't leave. But if he has to go, okay, so be it. So be it. Because if you guys don't realize that Man City are already looking to move on from Bernardo Silva with Ilkay Gundogan starting the games. Because Ilkay Gundogan is a captain now, right? But with Bernardo starting from the bench, and I think the second game running now, you could see that City saying, okay, we have Gundogan. If Bernardo leaves, there's always a player that, we could bring in. The transfer window is still open. So if he leaves, we could still bring in another player. Or there's players that could play in that position that Bernardo is going to fill. Bernardo used to play as a winger, but now as a midfielder. So with him moving on, he wouldn't leave such a hole in the team, because we have wingers. We have a new, player like a Julian Alvarez who came in. In the midfield, we have a Calvin Phillips who missed this game. Unfortunately, he missed this game, right? So we do have cover, and you have guys like Cole Palmer, who's going to have a lot of game time this season, Liam Delap. So I think City is going to be all right when it comes to that. But, same team, Nathan Ake getting a lot of game time alongside Ruben Diaz, who did go off, being comfortably up 4-0. Well, at that time, it was about 3-0. And to give John Stones a little bit of game time. You see what I'm saying? Kyle Walker, he got a good 82 minutes. And Rico Lewis, who I think is going to be a brilliant, brilliant player, man. In preseason, he looked good. And the fact that Pep is actually giving Rico Lewis a lot of game time, it means that he rates him very, very highly, and he's one for the future. So Julian Alvarez did get a run out, didn't see much action during his time on the field, and those were the subs. Look, Erling Haaland in this game, he did not score, but he did provide an assist. He wasn't involved enough again, but I think what he did well was pull the defense apart, like attract players to provide space for others. So another big game, I think, for Erling Haaland, who could have scored, should have scored a tap in if Phil Foden wasn't so selfish. And Pep said that Foden didn't see. He don't think that Foden saw. He didn't think that Foden saw Haaland. But in the future, he will see him, because Haaland is always there. So Foden and other players, they know when they have the ball to square the ball. Haaland will be there. Haaland is inevitable. He will be there. Unlike false nine of the past who might not be there. Haaland will be there. So let's just keep an eye on that situation. Look, big up to Rodri. Another brilliant game for him. But look, man, look. Could talk about Cancelo. He was very good in the match as well, especially for that own goal there by Jefferson Lerma, and he's been playing mostly in the midfield. Well, Ake, you could see what Pep's doing with giving Ake a lot of game time, making Ake happy. And then what he's going to do when the Champions League come around and the League Cup come around, you're going to see Ake get phased out a little bit. John Stones come in, and then he's going to be mixing both players, and Laporte's going to come in and be alongside Diaz as well. So Pep knows what he's doing to keep players happy and content. Never mind Raheem Sterling leaving to Chelsea. Raheem Sterling seems like a very selfish type of player, and we don't need that type of player in the team. He's worried about his game time, and he's winning titles every season. You see what I'm saying? You're playing at the highest level, you're doing well, and you're worried about your game time when you're playing many games per season. So let Chelsea deal with his missing open chances and all, and being, let Chelsea fans get frustrated by him. I'm good. I'm not ungrateful, but I'm good. I had enough. I had enough. So I just like the dynamic of the team and how we went out there and how we just smashed Bournemouth to pieces. They never had a chance in this game. They were always defending. They had a few look-ins, later on in the game. But Edison could have pulled out the Daily News. He could have just walked with his laptop out there and just, write a book or something. He had hardly anything to do. Only thing he had to do was when there was a few back passes to him and he could, spread the ball wherever he wants to. But it was a one-sided game as expected. And it could have been more, as I mentioned. But 4, I think, was what I expected and what we got. Look, just to touch on the goals really, really quick, man. Look, the Gundogan goal, that came after the Haaland, the Foden save from Mark Travers, who did a pretty okay job in goal. But Foden should have passed to Haaland. Kevin De Bruyne involved in the build-up there. Look, very dominant start by City. The Gundogan goal was simply exquisite because the skill to get the ball to Erling Haaland, I don't think a lot of people picked up on that. And I wish I could actually share. I really wish I could share the footage, but unfortunately we can't as content creators. But I wish I could actually share the footage with you guys. But that was a brilliant, brilliant goal, man. I'm telling you. For the give and go and the effort that Haaland put in for that assist, brilliant. And Gundogan with the finish, man, he's just an invaluable part of this setup. So 1-0 for City. Remember, guys, on the weekend they had drinks breaks taken at like the halfway mark in the first half, each half. And that was actually something that could have or may not have affected games this weekend. The Foden goal came in the 31st minute, and it was Foden and Kevin De Bruyne who was actually linking up with each other. And it was not the Foden goal, but the Kevin De Bruyne goal, I mean, in the 31st minute. The Kevin, that was brilliant, man. That's one of the best Kevin De Bruyne goals I've seen. That was just simply ingenious, man. I was like, God damn, how good is Kevin De Bruyne? Arguably, and I'm gonna say something that might be controversial to some Liverpool fans right now. Arguably the best player in the Premier League. Argue with me if you want, but he's just exquisite. He gives you goals, he gives you assists. And you could see the assist there in the 37th minute for the Foden goal. It's just like, I don't know. City has to start thinking about the next player to replace Kevin De Bruyne, because if you think ahead, you won't have that headache when the time comes. But he's irreplaceable. He's damn good, man. He's damn good. And look, Kevin De Bruyne for the Ballon d'Or next season. Maybe not this year. I think it might actually be what you call it. It might actually be Karim Benzema, but Kevin De Bruyne I think might come in second or something for that Ballon d'Or, man. I don't think he's gonna win it, but I won't be surprised if he wins it either. Seriously, because he's been damn good. He is damn good, man. That goal was brilliant. But look, the third goal, brilliant build up, brilliant team goal there. Bournemouth stretch. De Bruyne teeing up Foden to score the third, man. So Demo is saying, big up to Demo, who's saying it's not arguable, bro. KDB is from another planet. Thanks there for as a Liverpool fan, you respecting giving Kevin De Bruyne that respect there though. So pretty good first half, 3-0. And I think we came out in the second half still very, very dominant, even though Bournemouth were a bit more resilient. And there's a few little injury doubts, problems there when it comes to Grealish and Gundogan, but those players turned out to be pretty okay. And that fourth goal, that really, really good work by João Cancelo, run to the byline, very, very good dribbling and to pass the ball. And that would have been scored, I think, eventually and put in by Jefferson Lerma inadvertently there. So in terms of a few debutants there, we got to make note of that. For Bournemouth on their side, we had Jamaican international Jamal Lowe coming on. I don't know if he was a debutant. Wasn't he the guy that was at Sheffield United? No, he was actually in the championship. But he got a run out late there. Marco Senesi did make his debut. Came over from Feyenoord in the Dutch league, if I'm not mistaken. Neto is still on the bench. Let's see if he would get the number one spot from Mark Travers. But, let's just keep an eye on the situation here with Bournemouth, who I did predict to get relegated this season. But look, another dominant performance by Man City as expected. And City go top. Well, we should be top of the table, right? I don't want to jump the gun. Yeah, top of the table with a goal difference of +6. Arsenal, they have scored 6 goals, but they have conceded twice. But 2 clean sheets and 6 goals. Brilliant start. Brilliant start. And early warning signs for the three-peat. I'm going to say this. I'm going to get a little excited right now. Look, I did not predict City to win the title this season. Just for your information, I didn't. But if it continues like this, with the way Erling Haaland's playing, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez, Cancelo doing his thing, Rodri, Gundogan, then you name them, it's going to be a three-peat. It's going to be 3 titles on a bounce. It is going to be 3 titles on the bounce. Liverpool can't afford to slip up. And I'm not even going to mention the other teams because they're already slipping up. They're already slipping up. And we're already seeing frailties amongst the other teams. Chelsea don't look so convincing. Tottenham, they're going to be inconsistent at times. United are garbage. Arsenal are the closest thing to City so far this season, but we know they could go through periods where we wonder, like, God damn, what's happening? So Liverpool cannot afford to slip up. They're the closest thing to Man City in terms of quality in the Premier League. And if they draw games like they draw games last season, three-peat. Don't make me say it. Don't make me get disgusting this season and talk about the three-peat all season because, we're seeing early signs, man. And it is very important that you take, you take early signs very, very, very seriously. All right? So, guys, in terms of some news, I'm not even going to get into the stats. One-sided games. Very, very one-sided. Man City play Newcastle in their next game, and for AFC Bournemouth, their next match is a difficult one. That'll be against Arsenal. So just for some news updates, just for you ladies here, seeing for City in terms of transfers, Barcelona have blown their hopes of prizing Bernardo Silva away from Man City with their dirty tricks campaign to unsettle the midfielder. But Barcelona can't even register new players, you know what I mean? And they're still pursuing Bernardo Silva. I don't know. Maybe if they do get Frankie de Jong sold, that could happen. But let's wait and see what happened with that one. Look, I know this is not something to do with Man City, but a former City player, that Harry Kane has scored 184 Premier League goals for Tottenham, the joint most a player has scored for a single club in the Premier League history, with Sergio Aguero also scoring 184 for Manchester City. Okay, so I mentioned Ilkay Gundogan is a captain, and the squad have voted Ilkay Gundogan captain. He replaces Fernandinho, and Kevin De Bruyne is the vice captain, where Walker, Diaz, and Rodri complete the rest of the captaincy group there. So when one's not playing, the armband will be passed on to the next, and so on and so forth. So look, it's been said that from Statman Dave that Erling Haaland completed 2 passes versus Bournemouth, picking up 1 assist. No player has completed fewer passes in a single game when starting under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. So I did see that someone mentioned that we need to get Haaland more involved, right? But sometimes the non-involvement is also key because he pulls and attracts players to make space for others. But Erling Haaland, you gotta be involved a bit more though. Seriously, you gotta be 2 passes completed is very, very, very poor. Look, the obvious girl is mentioning here that there's a disagreement. Disagree with you on Raheem Sterling. The guy owes us a damn thing. God forbid he wants more playtime for himself. Ferran Torres didn't even last a season, but didn't get the heat. Wonder why. Man, look, Ferran Torres, I don't miss Torres. He was a top-in merchant anyway. He's at Barcelona. Let's see how things are going to work out for him over there with all the competition for places. You know what I'm saying? For Sterling, I think Sterling used to get a lot of game time. You want to play every game, bro? You know what's going to happen to Sterling at Chelsea? Remember, I told you this. Sterling is going to be starting, not scoring, and then bench. Remember, I told you so. Remember, I told you that. Okay? Forget about Raheem Sterling. We got big money for him, man. We got to move on. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. You can't please everybody all the time. You see what I'm saying? You know, that's what Bob Marley said. You can't please. You can't please all the people all the time, man. But look, quality victory for Manchester City. As for Bournemouth, look, they just have to take this on the chin. I think Scott Parker knew that this was coming. And, you know, they have to just continue to try to bolster up their team if they want to stay in the league. So, yeah, pretty much it in terms of them. Don't really have anything, any updates on Bournemouth right about now. So let's see if they're bringing any more players. But guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for tuning in to yet another one. We got to keep it going though.